Hi everyone, happy February. I wanted to do a romance TBR for this month. So I'm going to try in the month of February to just read romance books. Usually with TBRs I kind of randomly pick them out, but I did actually plan it this month because I wanted to exclusively read romance books. So some of these are new to me and some of these are like second books in a series. So the first book I picked out is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and this is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This has been out for a while. I think this is a 5-book series and this is book 2. Actually, for last February I read the first book from Blood and Ash. I feel like I had like a trashy good time with it. It was not well written. I found the writing style really jarring. I'm kind of hoping from book 2 on there was a bit more editing, I hope. There were so many pauses and uses of full stops and parentheses that it felt very jarring to read. So I hope this one has a bit more of an edit. But this is basically a vampire werewolf coded romantasy book. The main character of this is called Poppy. She is the maiden. So I thought I would show the first book. In this world, children, depending on their birth order, I think the firstborn needs to go to serve the gods, so they're kind of handed over to the powers that be in this kingdom. They never see their families again. I think child number 2 becomes ascended, which basically means immortal. And I think the third on can stay with their families, but Poppy is kind of like a special one. She's the maiden. Her ascension is really important, and her being found worthy of the gods is super important for this kingdom. So she lives in solidarity. She's not supposed to speak to people. She's not supposed to act on her feelings at all because she's supposed to be kind of this isolated figure. She does have a companion called Tawny. Her main relationships are with her guards. So with one of her guards, she kind of has this lovely like father-daughter relationship. And then with another guard called Hawk, she kind of starts a forbidden romance with him. And that's like the main plot. I actually really enjoyed the reveals in this. Some of them are kind of cheesy, but I thought this was actually just very entertaining. I read this last February, haven't moved on to the second one, so I want to do it this February. Book 1 left on a big cliffhanger, so I am excited to get to these. Definitely, as I said, not the best well-written books in the world, but very entertaining nonetheless. Okay, this is also a continuation on from last February, but I want to get to the next Bridgerton book. So this is book number 2. This is The Viscount Who Loved Me. And if you don't know about the Bridgerton books, each book is about one of the Bridgerton siblings. So this is Anthony's book, I believe, who is the eldest son of the Bridgerton children. I read the first book, The Duke and I watched the first season last February as well. I never actually watched season 2. I've heard that season 2 is really good, but I think this Anthony needs to settle down and be serious, and he's thinking he needs to get married, and he decides he needs to pursue probably the most eligible woman that's in this society at the time. So yeah, he decides to pursue this woman called Edwina. However, Edwina's sister Kate really wants to put a stop to it, and I actually think he falls for Kate. So yeah, I haven't seen season 2. I'm excited to get to it. I would like to read this first before I get to it. The show I found, and I think the general consensus is that the show is better than the books, but still, I think I would really like to get to it. I believe season 3 of Bridgerton is coming out in the summer, but that's going to be based on book 4. But yeah, I'm going to just focus on season 2 and book 2 for this month. The next book I want to read is a book I don't actually have, but I will be getting. I subscribe to Litjoy Crate. Their subscription is called To Be Read, B-E-E, as in Bumblebee. They're like a quarterly book subscription, and I subscribe to them because they let you know what book you're getting beforehand, which I quite like. I know it's nice to get a random book, but I think I like the idea of knowing what I'm going to get. The February book for this year is called Fangirl Down, and this is by Tessa Bailey. So I think this will ship on the 1st of February, so I'll probably get it around Valentine's time, I'd say, or towards the end of the month. So this might be more at the end of the month when I get to it. But this is a sports romance, which I don't think Tess Bailey has done already. And this is part of the Big Shots series. This is going to be the start of that series. But this is interesting. This one's about golf, but this sounds like just like a fun rom-com. So it's about, I think the golfer is called Wells Whitaker, and he's like really grumpy. He was once like the big rising star of golf, but he kind of, I think, lost his stride a little bit. But he's always had this one really devoted fangirl called Josephine. She's really sunny and bubbly, but he suddenly like quits golf, realizes he's made a mistake, and he actually enlists help from Josephine for her to be his caddy to try to get back in the rankings in golf. And I think he promises her that he'll split the prize money with her, and she needs money, so she agrees to it. But it sounds like a lot of fun. It's got the grumpy sunshine trope, so I'm excited about it. I've never actually read any Tessa Bailey. She's a generally revered author, I feel, so I am excited to get to this, and I can't wait to see the pretty edition I'll get as well. I thought I would do another rom-com that has been sitting on my TBR shelf for a while. So this is the Flatshare by Beth O'Leary, and this has already been made into a TV show. I think this came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, this came out in 2019. So it's about Leon and Tiffy. So in an effort to save money, I think Leon and Tiffy agree to share a one-bed flat with each other. Because Leon works night shifts and Tiffy works day shifts, they never actually see each other, so they actually share a bed, but they don't know each other. So I think the romance is them leaving notes for each other every day, which I think sounds quite cool. So I'd say it ends up getting kind of complex, but it sounds like a lot of fun. I think I will enjoy this. And it's dual perspective as well, which I really like in a romance. I would do like getting both POVs. The next book I want to talk about is my current listen, actually. I'm already on part 2 of this book, and this is Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. I talked a bit about this in my winter reading vlog. I'm in the middle of it, so I probably will finish it in February. This is a spin-off to the Kingdom of the Wicked series, if you're aware of that series. So the original series was about Prince Wrath and his relationship with Amelia. Throughout the 3 books, it's kind of a murder mystery subplot. This book is based on Prince Wrath's brother, who is Prince Envy, and this is a standalone. I'm wondering, will Kerry Maniscalco do one for each brother? I'm not quite sure. And Prince Envy, he was quite a prolific brother in the original trilogy, so it is kind of cool for him to have his own story. Prince Envy is kind of forced to enter this game, this very high stakes game. He ends up kind of having to go to the mortal realm in like Regency England time, and there's this artist called Carmilla. She's part of a clue in this game, so she kind of unintentionally gets wrapped up in this game too. I found the pacing of the romance in this one is obviously a lot quicker because this is a standalone book versus the original trilogy that was a lot more slow burn. So yeah, this one is definitely more romance heavy than plot heavy, which is a little bit different, but I'm still liking it. It's still entertaining. I can't wait to see how the game is going to plan out. I'm liking it so far. I'm not like loving it. I don't think it's going to be my favorite listen of the year or anything like that, but I definitely am interested to keep going with it, and yeah, it's pretty good so far. Another like series I really want to keep going with is the Lore Olympus books. So this is by Rachel Smith. I read volume 1 last year as well, so I really want to get to volume 2. I think what I might do this month is like read a book, then maybe read one of these to break books up because they are fairly quick to get through. So this was originally a webtoon, so you can actually read these on webtoon, but Rachel Smith came out with printed versions as well. There's volume 5 so far. Volume 6 is coming out in the summer, I think around May time, so I wouldn't mind getting through a few of these. And this is basically a Greek mythology webtoon, so it's a Hades and Persephone romance book. What I love about it is it's this nice mix of dark themes and tones with really light and funny tones. It's done quite well. It's like Greek mythology but in an urban setting, so they have like cars and nightclubs and stuff like that. But I really loved volume 1, so I'm excited to move on to volume 2. This one I was really debating if I would read it or not, but I have them all here. I don't know if you can see. It is the next Vampire Diaries book, so this is called The Struggle, and I say it might be a struggle to get through this. I read the first book during Vampathon, and I can link that video here for my initial reactions to that. So this is obviously the books that inspired the TV show. So I actually read the first book and watched a couple of episodes, and I really do want to keep going. Similar to Bridgerton, I would really like to maybe read these and watch the show and like kind of in tandem with each other. If you're familiar with the show, it's very much quite different, like especially the main character Elena. Elena in this is, and I said this in my original review, Regina George type character. She's like the very mean, you know, the popular girl in school. She does anything in her power to get with Stefan, the new boy in school. Now that I think about it, I felt like Stefan was a little bit better in the books versus the show. I feel like in the books he does his best to kind of like stay away from her, but in the show he's kind of like, no, I'm gonna get with Elena. Obviously Stefan's brother Damon is also another character in this. He's kind of a bit more of a violent vampire. The books and the show are about a potential love triangle between the 3 of them, so I'm interested to keep going even though I know it's bad. I didn't find writing that bad. I thought it was just kind of pretty simple writing. I don't think it was awful. I just think the main character Elena being really horrible to people is quite interesting, because I think the author wanted you to like her, which is strange because she's not likable. But I thought it was kind of interesting to have a main character that is like that, because usually the mean girl isn't the main character, she's like the side character. The only thing is like the romance was awful, like so insta lovey. It was so bad. I'm including this, I'll see how I feel. They're very quick anyway, but I bought the box set, so I'm like, I'll read them. The next book is Only If I Have Time, like really only if I have time. I'm so behind on this, but this is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I read Frost and Starlight back in the summer, I feel like beginning of autumn time, and I really wanted to move on to Silver Flames. I know this is about Nesta and Cassian. I really like both of those characters, and I'm kind of excited for ACOTAR to finish with Feyre and move on to the other side characters, and I am excited what's going to happen with ACOTAR. But yeah, I can't say much about this because spoilers, but it's basically about Nesta. It really set up well in Frost and Starlight about her PTSD, and she's really acting out. So I think she's a really fascinating character, so I'm excited that the fact that she's the main character of this. And I heard really good things about Silver Flames. So anyway, that's all my potential reads for February. I will definitely include these books in like readathons and reading vlogs, and hopefully I have a good time reading them. So yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, I do anything book related on this channel, so TBR videos like this one, wrap-ups, reading vlogs, all that jazz. And I'll leave all these books linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.